Psychology known as repressed memory will be debated, and the result could impact several lives. Two men are being charged with sexual abuse. Their accusers claim they recently remembered the incidents, traumas that have been repressed for many years. First, though, the state must prove that repressed memory exists and is reliable. Joining us this morning are two experts. From affiliate station WBZ in Boston is Dr. Bessel Van der Kolk, who will testify for the prosecution, and in Seattle is Dr. Elizabeth Loftus, who will testify for the defense. Thank you both for joining us.
Good morning.
Nice to see the two of you. Now, Professor, I want to make sure I'm pronouncing your name right. It's Van der Kolk?
That's right.
Okay. You, as we mentioned, will be testifying for the prosecution in defense of memory repression. What evidence do you have that really supports that it exists?
Well, it really has been written about for well over 100 years that basically after terrible, terrible things happen to people, their memory system gets screwed up and disintegrates basically, so that pieces of memory fragments remain lodged in the mind and come back later when people are triggered by situations that remind them of the trauma, basically.
Is there any scientific evidence that would tell you exactly what triggers these memories?
We observe it oftentimes, like in Vietnam veterans on the 4th of July, when they hear firecrackers going off, they have very vivid memories of things that happened in Vietnam. Car accident victims may be exposed to situations that remind them of the car crash, and memories can come flooding back, situations like that.
Dr. Loftus, you will be talking or defending the defense's point of view, and then basically you're going to be arguing that this is not reality. Explain to us why you don't think this works.
Well, first of all, I believe that there is no cogent scientific support that memories, a stream of traumas. What's being claimed in this case, Paula, is molestation spanning from the age of 5 to 23, buried in the unconscious until a year later when the person goes into therapy and somehow in the course of this very suggestive therapy comes out with this set of recollections. There just isn't any cogent scientific support for the idea that memory routinely works this way. So I don't believe that we should be prosecuting people and taking their freedom away on a flimsy, unsupported notion.
So, Dr. Loftus, if you believe what you're saying is true, are you saying these women are lying?
Oh, no. I don't believe for a minute that most of the people that come up with these kinds of memories under these kinds of conditions are deliberately lying. I believe that in many cases they have been led through suggestive techniques, through risky and dangerous techniques to come to believe that they've had experiences that they just haven't had.
Dr. Van der Kolk, are patients that sensitive to suggestion?
Actually, these memories usually rarely first come up in therapy. In 3 fairly large studies now, of a total of about 1,000 patients, 3 different studies, it was found that the memories came up first in psychotherapy in about 18% of the cases. The rest of the time it came up usually when people were exposed to situations that were similar to the original traumatic incidents. In cases of childhood sexual abuse, the memories came flooding back when people were in sexual situations. In terms of violence, the memories of being assaulted come back when people are exposed to scary situations. So therapy is really not a major issue here.
What do you think is that issue?
What is at issue is that these memories come back when people are exposed to situations that activate these networks of memories that make it flood back. But these memories rarely come back in therapy for the first time, actually.
Dr. Loftus, obviously no one knows what decision is going to be made in the courtroom, but what might be the ramifications of a decision that repressed memory cannot be used in these cases?
Well, one thing that will be very interesting, Paula, is that psychologists have spent 70 years trying to provide cogent scientific support for the idea of massive or total repression, that you can really banish a stream of traumas into the unconscious and you can reliably recover them. If the court has ordered the prosecution to prove that this process exists and that it applies to the facts of this case, then it's going to be pretty amazing that they can prove something that hasn't been able to be proven for decades and decades.
Well, we will all be watching. It certainly is a fascinating issue to talk about. Dr. Van der Kolk and Dr. Loftus, thank you for joining us this morning. It's just about 14 minutes past the hour. John?
Thanks, Paula. Coming up next on CBS This Morning.